And let's get started. Oops, can't see. Okay. So welcome to Unit 1, which is the Introduction to Business. So even though we introduced ourselves, I am Alex, and I'm involved in student government and I play tennis. And you can always find us at Operation CEOs on Instagram or email us.
And then again, like Alex said, we already introduced ourselves, but might as well give you guys a little bit more about ourselves. So hi, I'm Kemdi Obiamalu. I'm extremely passionate about advocacy and volunteering. And again, like Alex said, you can find us at Operation CEOs on Instagram.
Okay, so section 1 is the introduction to management. So first, really basic, what is a business? So the definition is any organization that uses resources to meet the needs of customers by providing a product or service that the consumer demands, consumer or customer. So there are business inputs, and business inputs are all the things that make up a business. And as you can see on the screen, it says primary, secondary, tertiary, etc. And those are levels of importance. So primary is land. So for example, like a brick and mortar store, you need that land to have your restaurant, for example. Secondary, labor, which is just the workforce. Tertiary is capital, so capital meaning money. And then lastly, enterprise, which is just essentially a business. Oops. Okay, so there are a few problems that startups do face when they are starting up. For example, like a lot of competitions and building a customer base, lack of record keeping, lack of working capital, poor management skills, and changes in the business environment. So to kind of relate it back into the real world, for example, COVID-19, a lot of mom and pop stores are closed to this day because of COVID-19, and that's just one of the changes in the business environment. And there are 4 functions of business. Oh, make sure if we're going too fast, just let us know. There are 4 functions of business, which is marketing, human resource management, operation management, and finance and accounts. I'm assuming you guys kind of know the basics of this, but this is just to kind of describe what the 4 functions of business are.
Okay, so next we're going to be talking about stakeholders. So first of all, we're going to start off with the definition. The stakeholder concept is the view that businesses and their managers have responsibility to a wide range of groups, not just shareholders. And now we're going to talk about types of stakeholders because that's equally as important. So there's obviously external and internal stakeholders. And external stakeholders include things like customers, suppliers, the government, special interest groups, banks, and pressure groups. Just because all of these people, although they are not a part of the business, their actions have a direct result on the productivity of the business. And next, there are internal stakeholders, which are employees, managers, shareholders, and owners. So all of these people obviously are a part of the business. The employees work there, the owners own it. And all of these people, the decisions that they make on the day-to-day actually actively affect the business and stuff, which is why they're called stakeholders.
And next, I'll be talking about the business environment. So this is just a very basic introduction to STEEPLE. So what STEEPLE is an acronym standing for Social, Technological, Economic, Environmental, Political, Legal, and Ethical External Factors that impact a business. So STEEPLE kind of refers to a framework for analyzing the external environments affecting a business's objectives and strategies. So first, social. Social factors include many things like the population size and structure, the lifestyle groups, and education levels. I think the only way I can relate it back is if you live in Southern California, you'll know, Newport Beach, these people are very high-end and luxurious people. And, there's a huge population size. So, yeah. Technological factors include the stake of technological advancements and introduction of new technologies. So economic, this includes factors such as inflation, economic growth, unemployment, and even international trade. So can't think of something. Environmental, these include the weather and climate of the region, like the flora and fauna of a region. And another thing is environmental pressure group activities. So for example, climate change. Like a lot of people advocate for climate change or even like saving the polar bear. So that's one thing that businesses have to take into consideration. Political, they include the type of government that exists and its ideology as shown by the attitude of the free market, imposition of tariffs, business incentives offered, and even the stability of the government. Legal, so that just includes the law influencing the business activity. So it could be health and safety, consumer protection, employee protection, competition law. Um, yeah. And lastly, ethical. It's just the general code of ethics followed by more people in the country. So, there's an ethical code of laws in most companies. And for example, there's like Facebook and they have this certain law. And yeah.
All right, so next we're going to be talking about company evolution, and this is our actual last section for the day just because we wanted to keep it super brief for this today. So company evolution. First of all, we're going to start with types of growth. Okay, so there's external, and internal growth. And external growth is just business expansion, but achieved by means of merging with or taking over another business from either the same or a different industry. So for an example of this is how Starbucks merged with Tivana, and now if you get a drink or a refresher at Starbucks, you get both of those brands. And then an internal is expansion of a business by means of opening new branches, shops, or factors, also known as organic growth. So an example of this is how Bath and Body Works, for example. If you live in the US, you know that they have a bunch of branches and they keep expanding those branches, except I think after COVID and stuff like that, they might have to size down a little bit. But their expansion of these branches means that the business as a whole is growing, which is obviously another type of internal growth. Okay, reasons for growth. So there are a few reasons for growth and they're all equally as important. So obviously the first, like very obvious one is increased profits. This basically means that the business is going to make more money. I think a lot of people go into business for the sole purpose of making money, which is why a lot of them fail very quickly because money shouldn't be the only reason why you're going into it. But increased profits is obviously a very common reason for growth. Next is increased market share. So market share basically is the amount of the market that the business controls. So for example, a lot of us probably have iPhones. Apple as a whole controls 48.5% of the like total technological market and stuff like that, which means that their market share is enormous. Most businesses, they hope to get around like 15%, but the fact that Apple already has 48.5 means that they're doing a lot better than you would think they would be doing. Next is increased power and status of the owners and directors. This is also a very interesting one just because it means that when a business is doing super well, its owners are doing super well. So for example, we know that Tesla is doing super well right now just because people have an increased sensitivity to the environment and stuff. So therefore, electrical cars are doing a lot better. Its owner, Elon Musk, is also doing a lot better because of it. And it just basically means that when the business is doing better, the owners tend to do better as well. And the last one is increased risk of being a takeover, or reduced risk, of being a takeover target. This essentially means that if a business is doing super well, they probably won't be getting threats about takeover and stuff because takeover normally happens when a business isn't doing super well and a bigger business thinks that they can do better or provide for it better. So if a business is doing super well, for example, like Tesla, like I said, Elon Musk won't be getting any takeovers anytime soon because they know that no other business can sustain Tesla the way Elon can. And all right, that's basically an introduction on business. That was a lot shorter than we had planned for, but it's just because we did want to give you guys just a very quick, brief introduction before we get into the harder stuff on Wednesday.
Yeah, and then if you want to contact us, here is our email and Instagram. I don't think you'll be contacting us through LinkedIn, but if you want to follow us, and
If anyone has any questions, we can go back to any slides that we might have gone too fast on.
yeah, so just for today, it's a lot shorter. It's only 20 minutes long, but in the upcoming topics, it will be a longer session because we do have a lot of ground to cover. Like we said in the beginning, this is a 2-year course and we're condensing it into 5 weeks, which is absolutely insane, but props to you guys. And yeah, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask, type it, or
anything like that. And we'll hang around for a few more minutes if anyone wants to stay behind, but if not, you guys are free to go. Go back on Steeple, yes.
Yeah. One.
Of business, yes, we'll do both of those.
Sorry, hold on. Okay, let's do the 4 functions first. Here are the 4 functions.
Let us know in the chat when you're done.
We'll be sending you the video, but if you do want the slides, just email us or something. Kenzie, can you monitor the chat?
Yes. Somebody else asked, do you know when the video will be up on YouTube?
So we're gonna export it after the session is over, and then edit it, add some stuff, and then we'll upload it, and then just send. So it'll be most likely tonight, in the next hour, hopefully.
First of all, I will drop our email in the chat, and Kendra, I saw your question. I will answer it in a second. Let me put our email first. Okay, Kendra, sorry, can you give me the slide that you're referring to specifically so I can explain it in context of that? The 4 function slide. Alex, can you go back?
Function, sure.
Okay, so I'm assuming you mean for operations management. Controlling the business procedures basically means that they handle like all of the logistical side of the business. So for example, if you have a business that is a manufacturing business, for example, like they're a car manufacturer or something, operations management is the one that handles getting all of the equipment that they need, and then while HR, for example, would be like hiring all the people to make that. So it's basically just the logistics and stuff. So any technology that they would need would go through operations. And the way they assemble the cars. So for example, if they're doing a line system, for example, where they literally go in a line and assemble the car that way, that would be the operations branch that would handle it. I hope that makes sense. Okay. And then did we go back to steeple yet?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. All right, are there any more questions? If not, you guys are good to go, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.